Welcome to What's Working Wednesday. I am Jim Meisner with Cardinal Financial, located right here in the beautiful Vancouver, Washington. So this question has come up a lot for all of us. What is working in this market where people have seen their pipeline shrink, fall a little bit? What message do we send right now in times like this to get more deals on our pipeline? I've used a few strategies. My business has actually been consistent so far this year. Not what it was last year, but nothing that I'm going to be disappointed in or embarrassed to talk to friends about. One of the things that most all of us are challenged with right now is the points and fees, and how do we sell that? How do we sell that to a client in a way that we don't feel like a shady car salesman? Well, one of the things is how you are answering that question in the first place. When somebody calls me, they say, "Hey, Jim, what are rates today?" I don't say, "Oh, rates are terrible." There's a lot of ways you can answer that question. You can say, "Hey, you know what? Rates aren't as good as they were 2 months ago, but I can tell you right now, they're probably going to be much better than what they'll be 2 months from now." All right. So it's all in that messaging to your client. Well, what do you think about this market? I think this is a great opportunity. This market is fantastic. Last year, I had clients that were having to pay $50,000 over asking price, waive their inspection contingency periods, give up on the appraisal. It doesn't even matter, just to get into the home. This year, we're seeing prices come down to a more reasonable level. Probably still have a little ways to go, but people are not having to do that. Sellers are now paying closing costs again. So though interest rates are higher, there's much more reason to get into this market. A couple of the reasons that I tell people why it's such a good time to get in this market is last year when people were selling because they wanted to. They knew it was a hot market. They knew there was a lot of opportunity. This year coming around, you have to look at the environment. If people are selling right now, it's more than likely because they have to, right? They're not cramming to get the kids into school. That already happened. They're probably leaving behind a lower interest rate. They are having to make a move. You always want to have that motivated seller in a market like this. And for us, buyers are gold. So how do we sell that message? Last year, I had some clients up in the Pierce County area that paid $50,000 more for the home. They had to go $50,000 over the offer price just to get their offer accepted. All right. If they were to buy that same house today, they wouldn't have had to go $50,000 over asking price, but their payment would have been about $400 more per month. So you look at that $50,000. If they're buying now, $10,000 of that $50,000 is going to go for points and fees. They have to do that. But look at that other $40,000 that they're able to put in the bank. If they have $40,000 they're not having to spend to just go over the asking price right now, and their payment's $400 more, just do the math. $40,000 divided by $400 a month is 100 months. So 8.33 years of cost neutral. So the question, or what we should be sharing with our clients right now, is not what do you think rates are going to do next week, next month, next quarter, next year. What do you think is going to happen with rates in the next 8 years, or maybe even 5 years? Another thing that's been helping my business right now is multifamily. Now, not everybody is looking to buy a multifamily property, but many are. A multifamily is giving people that cost affordability. I have a client right now that's buying a duplex. The reason he's buying a duplex is he's looking at what his mortgage payment would be just on a single family residential, over $3,000. But if he looks at this duplex, his payment's over $4,000. Beauty here, the tenant next door is paying half of that. So his carry is $2,000 a month. This is an absolutely ideal time for investors because, see, investors are not so centric upon the rate. These are folks who are used to using hard money. They're paying anywhere from 10 to 12% interest rates, and they're paying points up front just to have the right to borrow the money at that. So for them to see a 7% rate, that is not the question for them. The question is, does it cash flow? So we've looked at a couple of properties that have gone from, fourplexes that are $1 million that today you can pick up for $850,000. That, when you're putting 25% down, is a swing of $50,000 that investor can keep in the bank. Again, cash is king. The other leverage that investors have right now is, does it pencil? Now, somebody can say, hey, I want this amount for my property, but if you're an investor and you know what the minimum down has to be, you can go back to that seller and say, sorry, it doesn't pencil. Here's what the value is currently based on what the rents can be. So the things that are working for me on What's Working Wednesday is, number one is, it's everything I did yesterday. When we were super duper busy in 2020 and 21, I was not turning down brokered loans. We were still doing the tough stuff. That tough stuff is education. Right now, brokered loans, they're out there. We're going to see some more of these programs that other people just aren't doing. hone in on this stuff, become an expert, even if you're not. Really be following the trends. What's happening with the Fed? What's happening with inflation? Understand that so you can speak about it in an intelligent form, or at least in a way that your buyers can understand. So in a time like this, some people get a little bit scared. I see fantastic opportunity, a consistent pipeline, lower prices, more motivated sellers, rates that are going to go up and down a little bit. We might see some relief in in November. We might not. 7% might be the new norm. That doesn't change. Rather not, people are going to fall in love and have more babies in a country that's about 5 million homes short of the inventory of the demand, right? So we have a lot to be grateful for. There's a lot of stuff working. I wish you all the best. Go get them. Have fun. See you later.